Hey, you guys, in this day and age when we can do almost everything on our own, like bag and check out our own groceries, plan and book our own travels, and in some situations, restaurants will even let us cook our own food, we tend to take a lot of professional services for granted, such as real estate agents. There is still so much value in hiring and working with a real estate agent. You want to know? Let's talk about it. Hey you guys, it's Kim G with Real Estate with Kim G. As you know, I'm a licensed real estate professional here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Thank you for joining me today with this conversation. I just wanted to kind of touch lightly on why it's still very important to work with a real estate professional during real estate transactions. And I just want to give you some insight about it. But before we get into it, I want to invite you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel now so you can stay updated on fun, entertaining, real estate content, and also share this if you think that there's anyone that might find value in this information. You can also go ahead and follow me on my social media exchanges, Real Estate with Kim G, on both Facebook and Instagram. So now, anyone that knows me knows that I, one, like to save time and money. Who doesn't? And I know in this day and age when things are so fast and readily accessible at our hands, we feel to take on ownership and responsibility and professionalism and expertise in certain areas because we can research or kind of piddle our way through things. And that's okay. But when it comes to real estate, why would you want to leave anything to chance? I'll use an example. Sometimes I will forego using professional help. For instance, when I'm doing a DIY project at home, I don't necessarily need to hire a professional painter to paint an accent wall for me or to install some stick and paste backsplash in my kitchen. Those are things that I'm willing to take a chance on if they don't come out absolutely right. The correction factor is not going to kill me. But in real estate, with this being one of the most expensive and largest transactions that one will ever make in their lifetime, who wants to leave that to chance? There's a story I'm just thinking about personally that really resonates with the experience of doing things on your own and doing things with an experienced professional. So I'm going to share it with you really quick. I like to travel. And when I travel, depending on where I'm going, I usually just wing it. I don't have a set itinerary. I may or may not know the points or places of interest or the best places to eat or shop. I just kind of go and show up. So I went traveling overseas to a place and I went and showed up. It was me and two other people. We went, showed up. We didn't have an itinerary really. We didn't have a game plan or any concrete facts about where we were going, what we were doing. We kind of pulled information from the concierge, from some locals on the street, and from a few other tourists that were also traveling with us that had been there before. We went and found dining places to hang out, a few nightclubs. We were trying to find shopping experiences and even, points of interest, historical landmarks and sites in this location. And we managed to check a bunch of those things off of our box. But, overall, it was a really great trip. We had fun. We relaxed, we partied. It was great. So I also took this trip again last year. And this time we decided to hire a tour guide. And when I tell you, that was the best decision I've ever made in traveling. It was such a different experience for me. I was able to just wake up and be present. I didn't have to worry about researching money exchange, if this is the best place, how long it's gonna take, is this an active and viable address? And when there was communication, translation issues, I didn't have to worry about someone translating for me and communicating. It was such a wonderful experience. This tour guide was a local, knowledgeable. This is what they did for a living every day. They knew about all of the places to eat and shop. They knew about all the historical landmarks and places to go, nightclubs, local dining, the best beaches to hang out on at the right times. It absolutely improved my traveling experience by 150%. And I was so grateful that we took the dive to pay for a tour guide. He wasn't that expensive, but the fact that we said, you know what, we're not professionals in this realm and we want to have the best experience possible. So let's let someone that's knowledgeable take the wheel. And it was amazing. Now, comparing the two trips, the first one was great, but the second one was amazing and in no comparison due to the experience and the exposure and the amount of stress and anxiety that was taken off of us as tourists as we were able to just show up and show out. So I find that to be the same experience for some when you decide to let someone help you and guide you through these type of transactions or situations that you're not really familiar with. I mean, there's a lot of documentation in real estate. There's a lot of research that needs to be done. There's a lot of historical information that you want to take into consideration when you're approaching certain properties. And if you're not in the industry, how would you know what dots to connect? This is for buyers and sellers. This is specifically for my buyers. Let me let you know, in almost 99% of these situations or times, you as a buyer are not responsible for paying or compensating your agent for working with you through the transaction. Did you know that? Commissions are paid from the proceeds of the transaction, which come from the seller. So you're getting a hired professional for free, whether or not the transaction closes or not. How could you go wrong with hiring a professional? And for my sellers, I know there's a lot of sellers out there right now trying to maximize on their dollar, get their full bang, and go around and not hire a listing agent or a real estate agent to represent them in their transactions. I can understand you wanting to save a dollar, but historically, it has been documented that 27 to 35% of the properties listed with an agent sell in record time and for top dollar. So these are just examples of why it would be good to work with an agent. And you have to pick your agent too. Make sure your personalities mesh. Make sure that your agent is familiar with the market in which you're trying to engage in. If it's, income property, if it's an investment property, if it's single family homes or condominiums, if it's city living, suburban, if it's, for me, I'm an East Bay girl. I'm Oakland and San Leandro. That's really my expertise. So I tend not to try to go outside of my area. But if I engage with a client that is interested in an area outside of my expertise, I have no problem with reaching out to my network of other professionals. You have to make sure that your agent has your best interest in mind, and that will ease your anxiety and fears about working with someone and allowing someone to have so much control over something that is very, very, very important. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I just wanted to share that with you to let you know that there's still so much value in working with a real estate professional. If you are in the Bay Area and looking for a real estate professional, give me a call. As I say again, I'm an East Bay girl, so focusing on Oakland, condominiums, and single family homes. I also help first-time home buyers. Ciao.